My name is Paul Ablin, and I am the Director of Alumni and International Relations at Fay School. At Fay, there are 3 seasons of sports. So each student plays a sport in each season. So you would choose. These are the formal options that we have in each season. So for example, if you look at the winter, you could choose basketball, ice hockey, squash, wrestling, skiing, snowboarding, dance, or drama. And I mention that because dance and drama, some students don't like the traditional sports as much, or they're really passionate about dance, or they love to perform. So we give them that option as a sport in the wintertime. There are some sports you don't see on the list. For example, swimming, horseback riding, things like that. We offer those programs to students who have a real devotion to them, who are really dedicated to those sports already when they come to Fay. And we help those families and those students find those resources nearby and help those students, those boarding students, get to those programs. So if you are a swimmer, if you do have a sport you don't see on the list, that's always something we can talk to you and your family about. Weekends. This is an exciting slide because I think in our boarding program, one of the most exciting things about where Fay is located are the many, many options for weekend activities at Fay. Like I said, we're near so many things. So if you love sports, you could obviously go to a baseball game, to a Boston Red Sox game. You can, if you aren't so interested in sports, you have things like the Freedom Trail, an incredible historical program in Boston where you can walk around the city and learn about history. We have obviously academic time in the library, time to work on your art projects. We have mandatory study time, which is important to our teachers, students, and families. But we wanted to make it clear that we have all of these other activities that are open to you. Often, in fact, students can propose activities for the weekend. If there's something that you're really interested in, we can find a way to get you there and get a group of students there, as long as there's an adult who can accompany you. What happens with weekend scheduling at Fay, these activities are not necessarily mandatory, although we encourage each student to do a variety of things every weekend, a balance of study time, individual time, and outdoor time. But on Tuesday or Wednesday every week, each boarding student gets an email with essentially a menu of choices for the weekend that looks like this. What would you like to do this weekend? And you can go through and choose, and then we try to design a schedule for you for your weekend that really works well. A little bit more about our boarding program. Our dorm parents are teachers, coaches, advisors, and they know the students very well. So your dorm parents, those who live with you, and this picture down at the bottom here is of our village dorm, which is typically a dorm for our 7th grade students, although that's not always strictly true. But in general, if you're a 7th grader, you would live in the village. And your dorm parents and their families would live in the dorm with you. And then you would also see them during a school day, whether they were your coach, whether they advised you. But I can tell you, having been a dorm parent myself, that it really feels like a family in the dorms at Fay. And that's a very special thing. We know the students well. And as dorm parents, we communicate with the student's advisor and with the parents frequently. And I think that as a parent myself too, that gives you a real sense of security to know who the person is that's caring for your child. We have our own health center on campus with 24-hour, 7-day-a-week care. So if a student is ill, we always have a resource. That is true for physical illness and also for any concerns or worries that a student has. We always have someone they can talk to, and that will then relay that information to parents. Regular communication and updates are very important at Fay. We have what I think is probably our strongest program. That's our advisory system. When you come to Fay, you get an advisor right away. And that advisor, as long as you really feel comfortable with them, they stay with you through your entire time at Fay. And they're the main person that communicates with you and your parents. Certainly our teachers communicate with parents, our dorm parents communicate with parents, but the advisor really is the one who is essentially your parent away from home, who really takes care of you. So every morning you start your morning with your advisor, and every day you end your day checking in with your advisor. So there's a nice balance, and we really know how our students are doing and how they're feeling.